The milkmaid and the crash the sun was soft and blue on the quiet planet Velmora. Large, round hills stretched across the land, covered in glowing grass. Strange animals called Dralyun's big six-eyed milk beasts stood in lines, waiting for the day's milking. In the middle of this peaceful land, a tall barn floated gently above the ground. Inside, Zara, a lonely alien milkmaid, worked alone. Her long arms moved quickly. She had 4 fingers on each hand, smooth blue skin, and eyes that could see in the dark. Every morning, she woke before the twin suns rose. She spoke only to her animals and sometimes to the small radio in the barn. The radio gave weather reports, farm news, and warnings. One warning always played: "Attention Velmora citizens. Humans are forbidden on this planet. Do not shelter them. Do not trust them. Report them." Zara never saw a human. She heard they were loud, messy, and dangerous. She didn't care much. Her life was quiet, simple, and a little lonely. As she milked the last Dralyan, the ground trembled slightly. Boom! A loud sound echoed across the valley. The barn lights flickered. Zara froze. The animals panicked. She dropped the milk container. She ran outside. The sky above her farm was glowing orange. Smoke trailed down like a ribbon from the clouds. Something was falling fast. A fireball crashed behind the northern hill. Her radio crackled. "Unregistered object has entered Velmora space. Stay indoors, do not investigate." But Zara didn't listen. She grabbed her shock spear, tied her hair, and got on her hover cart. Her curiosity was stronger than her fear. She flew over the fields, wind in her face, heart beating fast. As she reached the hill, she saw a broken metal pod half buried in the dirt. Steam hissed from the cracks. One side had burst open. Zara slowed down and parked. She pointed her spear forward, walking carefully. She expected a robot, or maybe an alien criminal, but then she saw a man. He was human. His skin was pale and dirty. His short brown hair was wet with sweat. His clothes were torn. He crawled out of the pod slowly, holding his side. Zara aimed her spear at him. "Stay back," she said. The man looked up. His eyes were tired, but he smiled. "Hello, cowgirl," he said weakly. Zara blinked. What did that mean? "You're human," she said. "No kidding," he replied. Then he fainted. Zara stood there for a long moment. The smoke still rose. Her hands shook. Her radio beeped again. "Velmora patrols are on their way. Be alert. All contact with humans is punishable by exile." Zara looked at the human. He was breathing, barely. She had a choice. She should walk away. Leave him here. Let the patrol find him. That was the law, but something inside her said no. Zara dropped her spear. She ran back to her cart, brought out a blanket, and wrapped the human in it. "You better not be trouble," she muttered. She loaded him onto the cart and sped back toward her farm. Inside the barn, she made a small bed in the hayloft, high above where no one could see. She cleaned his wounds with warm Dralyan milk and tied bandages. The human woke up after an hour. Where am I?" he whispered. "You're in my barn," Zara said, crossing her arms. "You crashed on Velmora. Humans are not allowed here." He smiled again. "Guess I missed that memo. What's your name?" she asked. "Eli," he said. "And thank you for not leaving me behind." Zara didn't smile. "Don't thank me yet. If the patrol finds you, we're both finished." Alele looked around, then back at her. "You saved me anyway. Why?" Zara hesitated. She didn't know. Maybe because she was lonely. Maybe because he didn't look like a threat. Or maybe because for the first time in years, someone looked at her like she mattered. She turned and walked away. "I need to finish milking the Dralyans," she said. "Don't touch anything. Don't make noise." As she walked back to her work, her mind raced. A human in her barn. She looked up at the sky. The smoke was gone now, but trouble was just beginning. The human who wouldn't leave Azara did not sleep that night. She sat by the barn window, watching the stars and listening to Eli breathe in the hayloft above. Every small cough or shift made her ears twitch. Why did she bring him here? A human. A living rule-breaker. She should have reported him. That's what any good Velmoran would do. But then again, she was not like other Velmorans. Not anymore. Morning light came slowly, painting the sky with purple and silver. The Dralians moaned hungrily. Zhar climbed the ladder to check on him. Eli was awake, lying flat on his back, staring at the roof. "You survived," she said. He smiled. "Barely, but hey, nice ceiling." She frowned. "It's wood. Very old." "I haven't seen wood in years," Eli said. "Feels real." Zara didn't answer. She handed him a steaming bowl. He sniffed it. "Smells weird. Warm Dralian milk. Heals infection." He took a sip and coughed. "Tastes like warm sadness." Zara rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic. It saved your life." Down in the barn, the day began like any other. Zara milked the Dralians, cleaned their hooves, and checked the feed drones. She moved fast, quiet, and focused. Eli watched from the loft. After a while, he called down. "Need a hand?" She looked up. "Do you even know how to milk a Dralian?" He grinned. "How hard can it be?" 10 minutes later, Eli stood next to the biggest Dralian, sleeves rolled up, hands shaking. "Okay," he whispered. "So, where do I pull?" Zara laughed, actually laughed for the first time in months. "Pull? No, you hum to them first." "What?" She hummed a low, gentle sound. The Dralian calmed down and stood still. Eli tried to copy her. His version sounded like a sick bird. The Dralian kicked the bucket over and spat on him. Zara laughed harder. "You're hopeless." "Hey, I'm learning," Eli said, wiping spit from his shirt. "That's progress." By midday, they both sat in the barn, sweating and smelling of sour milk. Eli leaned back against a wooden beam. "So, tell me, why help me?" Zara didn't answer at first. She watched the Dralians graze in the distance. "My father once helped someone," she said quietly. "Long ago. It cost him his life." Eli's smile faded. "I'm sorry." She nodded. He believed not all humans were bad. The council didn't agree. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Eli said, "Well, I'm not bad. Mostly. Unless you count my cooking." Zara smirked. "We'll see." That evening, the wind picked up. A storm approached. As Zara locked the barn doors, she heard a soft buzz in the sky. She froze. A drone scout passed over the farm, blinking red. She ran to the barn, climbed to the loft. "Quiet," she whispered. "Hide," Eli obeyed, slipping behind some crates. Zara opened a panel and pressed a switch. False heat signatures filled the barn, masking human presence. The drone hovered. Scanned. Waited. Then flew on. Zara's heart pounded. Eli peeked out. "Was that for me?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "They're looking for the crash. If they find you, they'll take you." "Take me where?" She didn't answer. Later that night, they sat in the loft. A single light bulb swung above them. Eli stared at the stars through a crack in the roof. "You think I'll ever get back home?" Zara sat across from him, arms around her knees. "Where is home?" "Earth, South Carolina." "Ever had barbecue?" She shook her head. "You'd love it. Smoky, sweet, spicy. Sticky fingers, loud music. Real messy." Zara tried to imagine it. "Sounds strange." Eli smiled. "It is. That's what makes it great." He looked at her. "And you? What do you want?" Zara blinked. No one ever asked her that. "I want peace," she said finally. "Silence, and someone who doesn't leave." Outside, the wind howled. The barn creaked. Eli pulled a blanket over his shoulders. "If they catch me, What happens to you? Zara stood and walked to the ladder. They'll take my farm, she said. And maybe worse. Then I should leave, he said. Zara looked back at him, and for the first time. She wasn't sure. You should rest, she said, climbing down. She paused halfway and whispered to herself, but you're not going anywhere. Not yet. Velmora's law night on Velmora was heavy. The stars didn't twinkle. They watched silent, cold, and still. Inside the barn, everything looked normal. Sleeping Dralians, soft lights. The steady creak of wood, but below the surface, nothing was normal anymore. Zara was dreaming, in her dream. Her father stood under the silver tree near the barn. He wore his old farming gloves, both hands stained with Dralian milk and grease. You did it again, he said softly. Zara looked at him. Did what? You saved another one, she frowned. I didn't. Mean to. You always mean to. Then his face began to fade, turning into smoke. Be careful, little star. They're always watching. She woke with a jolt. Eli was already awake, sitting on a crate, staring at the barn's old map wall. Sleep okay? He asked. No, she said, rubbing her face. He didn't ask more. Later, they sat near the barn's fire pit. It was hidden underground, Zara's secret place. Eli held a hot cup in his hand. So, he said, tell me about the laws. Zara stared into the fire. Velmora's law says humans are dangerous. They lie, cheat, infect. After the Earth War, the Council banned all of them. No contact, no kindness, Eli smirked. Sounds like a bad dating profile. Zara didn't laugh. He sighed. But you still helped me. Yes, she said. Which means I've already broken the law. Eli's smile faded. Then I should go. Zara looked at him. Can you even walk? 10 steps without falling? He raised his cup. Fair point. The next day, Zara returned from the trade post with parts and supplies. When she stepped into the barn, it was quiet. Too quiet. Eli? She called. No answer. Her heart skipped. She dropped the basket and rushed to the loft. He was gone. She searched everywhere, the pens, the well, even the storm cellar. Nothing. She was halfway to calling a drone patrol when she heard something behind the barn wall. Clunk. Buzz. She pulled open the old feed door. And there he was. Eli, sitting cross-legged in the dust, in front of a strange glowing box, a metal cube with lights and strange symbols. Not Velmoran design. Zhar. It froze. Where did you find that? She whispered. Eli looked up, behind the water tank. It was hidden under some blankets. Zara stepped forward slowly. That's not yours to touch. I know, he said, but I think it belonged to your father. Zara knelt beside it. The cube was warm, alive. My father hid this after the war, she said. It's illegal tech, human tech. Eli studied it. Looks like an encrypted storage node. Old model. Might have files inside. Zara looked away. He said it was a gift from a human he once saved, and they punished him for it? She nodded. They didn't kill him, not directly. They took his name, his farm, his rights. He died of silence. Eli touched the cube gently. Zara, this isn't just a box. This might be proof. Proof of what? That your father was right. That not all humans are monsters. Maybe even proof that the Council lied. Zara felt her pulse in her throat. Even if it is, no one would believe it. Eli looked at her. Then we make them. That night, the wind picked up. Again, but it wasn't natural wind. It had a hum. Zara stepped outside. Lights blinked across the sky. A small patrol drone hovered far off, scanning, recording. It hadn't seen them yet, but it would. Back inside, Zara stared at the cube in her lap. She could destroy it, bury it, pretend nothing ever happened, or she could open it. Eli sat across from her, quiet, respectful. Finally she spoke. If I open this, there's no going back. Eli said nothing, but his eyes said everything. Zara placed her hand on the cube. It lit up blue dot. It scanned her, clicked, opened slightly. A soft voice played. If you're hearing this, I am gone. And if you're still listening, then I trust you. It was her father's voice. Zara froze. Eli leaned in, stunned. Ghosts of the past. The cube would not stop humming. It sat between them like a heart that had learned to beat again. Blue light pulsed with memory, rhythm, and something else. Warning. Zara hadn't spoken since her father's voice played. If you're hearing this, I am gone, and if you're still listening, then I trust you. That voice from the past stayed in the air long after the cube went silent. Eli broke the silence. He trusted you. Zara nodded slowly. He hid this for 20 years. Why? She stood, walked to the barn window, and stared out at the dralions grazing under the orange moon. Because knowledge gets you killed, she said. Because hope is illegal here. They didn't open the cube again that night. Instead, Eli made tea from Zara's blue leaf stash. It tasted like metal, but it calmed the nerves. He talked about Earth, about space stations, about music and open skies. Zara listened, and sometimes smiled. For one small hour, it felt like the war had never happened. But peace is always temporary on Velmora. The next morning, a deep rumble shook the ground. Not thunder, not weather. A ship. Zara and Eli ran to the barn door. In the sky, a dark shape lowered itself onto the field, crushing the glowing grass beneath. A long, lean craft, black metal with red thrusters, no markings, no warning lights. Eli stepped back. That's not patrol. Zara's eyes narrowed. It's worse. From the ship, a tall figure stepped out, armor like bones, helmet shaped like a jackal skull, a long coat dragging behind him. A bounty hunter. He walked slowly, like he owned the air. Zara recognized him immediately. Kale Vex. Eli frowned. You know him? He collects secrets and sells them to whoever pays best. They didn't run. There was nowhere to run. Zara stepped outside and waited. Kale Vex stopped 10 feet away. The skull mask hissed softly as it scanned her. Milkmaid Zara. His voice crackled through a speaker, cold, robotic, still keeping animals, and now keeping humans. Zara said nothing. Kale tilted his head. I traced a heat trail. Something crashed near here. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Eli stepped beside her. That'd be me. Zara whispered. Idiot. Kale's visor lit up red. So it's true. He took a slow step forward. I'm not here for you, Zara. Just the human. Give him to me. I leave. Easy deal. Eli turned to her. Don't. I'll go. Zara's hands curled into fists. Kale kept walking. You think he's different? Kale said. They all say that. They smile. They help. And then they burn your planet to ash. He reached for his side, a blade, long and black. Zara stepped in front of Eli. No, she said. Kale paused. Foolish girl, he hissed. You want to die for a species that never saved anyone? Zara's voice was low, but sharp. My father did. For a moment, Kale was silent. Then he lowered the blade. I see, he said. You have the cube. Zara's blood turned cold. You know about it. He smiled under the mask. Everyone wants it. Everyone but you understands its value. He turned and walked back toward his ship. But if you won't give the human, or the cube, then expect a visit soon. Before Zara could respond, the ship vanished into the sky. Inside the barn, Eli sat on the floor, breathing hard. Zara closed the doors, locked every bolt. He looked up at her. We're in deep now, she nodded. Deeper than you know. She pulled out the cube again. No more hiding. It hummed once, then opened. Inside was not just data. It was a map. A hidden layer of Velmora, secret tunnels, old cities. and something glowing deep underground. Words appeared. Project Seedlight. Human Velmoran Unity. Classed Forbiddens. Eli read it slowly. Your father wasn't just helping a human. He was part of something bigger. Zara looked at the map. Her voice was almost a whisper. He believed in peace, real peace. A new future. Eli stood. Then maybe. That future isn't gone. Outside, the wind picked up again. The stars didn't watch tonight. They waited. Stand or surrender. The map glowed all night. Blue lines. Secret tunnels. Abandoned places beneath Velmora's surface. Hidden truths Zara was never meant to see. She and Eli sat side by side, staring at the cube. Neither spoke much. Outside, the wind howled. Inside, the barn felt smaller than ever. By morning, the choice was clear. They're coming, Zara said. Kale won't wait. Eli nodded. Then, we fight. They began to prepare, not like soldiers, like farmers, like survivors. Zara pulled open every drawer, every box, every forgotten shelf. Old tools, welding torches, stun nets, mini drones with dead batteries. Eli rewired 3 of them using scrap from his pod. He smiled. They won't kill anyone, but they'll sting like hell. Zara loaded milk canisters with pressure valves. Eli blinked. We're using milk as a weapon, she smirked. Drellian milk hardens like glue after 5 seconds in air. You're terrifying, he said. The barn became a fortress. The front gate was covered in shock wire. The pens were turned into traps. Even the water barrels were rigged with noise sensors. Eli set up motion lights on the roof. Zara programmed the old feed drone to fly circles around the barn, just fast enough to confuse scans. That night, they sat on the roof, eating dried roots and warm broth. The sky was dark. No moon. No stars. Zara leaned back. I used to sit here as a girl. I thought the stars were kind. Eli looked up. They are, but they're far. He paused. When I was little, I got lost in a market. My mom told me to stand still until someone found me. Zara turned to him. And did they? He nodded. She did. Every time. Zara looked away. I don't have anyone left, Eli said softly. You do now. Just before midnight, a low rumble shook the earth. The animals cried out. Zara and Eli stood on the roof, hearts pounding. In the distance, 3 dark shapes appeared over the ridge. Kale Vex had returned, but this time, he didn't come alone. 3 bounty ships. Each one sleek, black, and silent. They landed without dust or sound. Kale stepped out, flanked by 2 other hunters, smaller, faster. He raised a hand toward the barn. Final warning, milkmaid, he said, voice cold and slow. Give us the cube, give us the human, or be forgotten. Zara didn't respond, but her traps did. The barn lights flared. The drones screamed across the sky, spinning and buzzing. Kale's team fired. Zara pulled a hidden switch, milk canisters shot from the roof and burst midair, spraying sticky foam across the landing field. Eli triggered the fence current. Kale's second hunter touched the gate and flew backward, armor sparking. Zara tossed a net grenade, caught the third one mid-leap. Fight had begun. Inside, chaos rained. Sparks, smoke, light. Zara moved like a shadow, fast, silent, deadly. She didn't fight like a warrior. She fought like a farmer defending her home. Eli used the map cube to project fake heat signals. 1 bounty hunter chased ghosts through the fields. Kale, calm as ever, walked through the fire, straight toward the barn. Zara met him at the door. He was taller up close. Still standing? He asked. Always, she replied. Kale drew his blade. Zara held her ground. For 1 second, everything stopped. Then crack. Eli jumped from above and hit Kale with a stun rod. Sparks flew. Kale staggered, dropped the blade, but didn't fall. Zara kicked him in the chest. He stumbled back. She grabbed Eli's arm. Now, she said. They ran into the back of the barn. Into the tunnel her father once used to hide the cube. Behind them, Kale roared, "We're not done." Zara turned, sealed the door, and locked the old code panel. A low boom shook the tunnel, but they kept running. Underground was quiet. Cold stone. Echoes of the past. The path ahead lit by the cube in Eli's hands. They didn't speak. Not yet. At the far end of the tunnel, Zara stopped. She looked back toward the sealed hatch. "We held the barn," she said. Eli smiled through his bruises. "We didn't win, but we didn't lose." Zara looked at him. "We're not done," she whispered. Walked into the darkness ahead. Flight or fire silence is louder underground. Zara had never been in the old tunnels before. Her father once told her they were dead sealed long ago after the war. But here she was now, walking where shadows still breathed. The cube glowed in Eli's hands, lighting the walls as they moved forward. Symbols lit up on the stone Velmoran script, mixed with something else. Something human. Zhar, a touch of faded mark. "My people didn't build this alone," she said. Eli nodded. "It was a project, a bridge, a beginning." She whispered the name again, Project Seedlight. They walked until the tunnel opened into a wide chamber, a forgotten sanctuary. Columns of crystal reached the ceiling. Metal benches lined the edges. In the center, a giant machine slept beneath glass panels. It pulsed with a soft orange light. Zara stared. "Is that a ship?" Eli stepped closer. "More than a ship. It's a seed pod, meant to carry a message, not weapons." He tapped the cube. A recording played, her father's voice again. "If Velmora ever falls into fear again, let this vessel fly. Let the truth rise, not for war, but for light." Zara stepped back. The message hit her like thunder. "This was real," she whispered. "My father was trying to restart peace." Eli turned. "And now you can finish what he started." But peace had a price, and it was already knocking back at the barn. Kale Vek stood in the ruins. One of his hunters limped. The other was gone. Kale stared at the sealed tunnel door. "You can run, Zara," he said aloud, voice slow, full of venom. "But every tunnel ends, and I always find the end." He turned toward his ship. "Activate orbital scan. Find there. Heat. Find the cube." The sky above Velmora began to shift. Below, in the sanctuary, Eli found a broken control panel on the ship. "I can fix this," he said, hands already working. "But the launch power is weak. It might not go far." Zara looked at him. "So we launch it anyway." Eli paused. "That means staying behind." She nodded. He didn't ask why. He knew. Later they sat on the cold floor, side by side. Zara held a mug of old root tea. Eli held a cracked photo, his family, smiling in front of a garden on Earth. "This is what I left behind," he said softly. "I never had something like that," Zara replied. "Just animals and stars. You deserve more." She smiled. Faintly, "We all do." The cube flickered. A warning message. Scan detected. Enemies inbound. They stood. Zhara. Turn to Eli. "You can leave in the escape pod." "I'll launch the ship." "No," he said. "I'm not leaving." "You said Earth is home." He shook his head. This moment is home." The power grid WHINED. Eli adjusted wires. Lights blinked. Zhar. Climbed into the launch bay. Above them, stone trembled. The sound of a drill. Kale was coming. "Are you sure?" Eli asked. Zara looked at the ship, then at him. "My father died alone," she said. "I won't repeat his story." Then she smiled. A full, bright, rare smile. "But I might finish it." The chamber shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Kale's voice echoed from the tunnels. "Last chance." Eli pushed the final switch. The seed. Ship began to rise. Zara ran to the platform, opened a small compartment. and dropped the cube inside. "Fly," she whispered. "Be the truth." The launch was silent, just a beam of orange light firing upward. The ship shot through the old stone, into the sky. Carrying her father's dream, Cale burst into the chamber too late. He saw the glow fade into the stars and screamed, "Zara!" And Eli stood, together, surrounded, cornered, tired, but not afraid. They had sent the truth. Now the fire would follow. Human. After all, the truth was already flying. Above Velmora, through clouds and satellites, the siege ship climbed into space. Inside it, the cube glowed, telling the untold story of unity, betrayal, and one alien milkmaid who chose hope. It carried her father's words, her voice. Their choice. Back on the ground, the silence was sharp. Zara stood with Eli in the hollow sanctuary. The air was thin. The walls trembled. Footsteps echoed from the tunnels behind them. Cale Vex was coming. No more threats. No more warnings. This was the end. Zara looked at Eli. "We don't run anymore." He nodded, hand tight around the broken shock rod. They faced the tunnel together. Cale appeared in shadow. His armor was scorched, his blade dripping static. He looked at them not like prey, but like puzzle pieces that refused to fit. "You sent it," he growled. "You fools." Zara didn't flinch. "We didn't start this war. You just ended your world," Cale said. "No," Eli said. Softly, "We lit it up." Cale rushed forward. The ground shook. Zhar and moved first, fast, clean, fierce. Her shock baton struck his side. He grabbed her arm, flung her aside. Eli lunged, stabbed the rod into Cale's chest plate. Sparks burst, but Cale didn't fall. He lifted Eli into the air. "You think humans are strong?" he hissed. "You're just noise in the dark." Zara rose, blood at her lip. She stared at Cale, the symbol of everything her planet feared. She whispered something in the old tongue, and threw a detonator to the ceiling. Boom. Rocks collapsed. Light poured in. Cale stumbled. Blinded. Eli dropped to the floor, gasping. Zara grabbed his arm. Now, they ran, not away. Up. Through broken tunnel stairs, into the open sky. And there, above them, they saw ships. Not bounty ships. Council ships. Big, white, official. They had received the message. The siege ship had done its job. The truth had arrived. Council drones landed first, scanning Cale's ship, then the ruins. They found Cale, trapped, half buried in rubble. Zara and Eli stood on the grass, watching it all. When the council guards approached, Zara didn't speak. She didn't beg. She simply handed them the cube's twin key, the second proof. Guards opened it, played the message, and for the first time in decades, the council listened. Days later, Velmora's news channels played a new broadcast. The human ban has been lifted. Cale Vex and others will face trial for crimes against peace. Project Seedlight, long thought destroyed, has been proven real. Zara sat outside her barn, watching the stars. The fields were calm again. The Dralians slept nearby. A new sign stood over the barn door. Velmora Milk Cooperative, Human. And Velmoran operated, underneath it. Hope tastes better shared. Eli walked up, holding 2 mugs of warm tea. "You sure you want to stay a milkmaid?" he asked. Zara took a mug, smiled. "This farm saw war and peace. It deserves calm." He nodded. "And what about us?" She looked at him. "We're still writing that part." Above them, a satellite blinked. Broadcasting their story to other worlds. And somewhere, far beyond Velmora, someone else whispered, "If a human and a milkmaid can change a planet, maybe there's still time for us." Final line, voiceover. Style. She asked for strong hands to help with the animals, but found a stronger heart to help carry the future.